Hey everybody, I don't know about you, but it is a crazy busy time of year for me. And what I have really been enjoying is reading short fiction and essays. They have really just something that I can pick up, read, finish, and really just be inspired by these amazing writers and the stories that they are choosing to tell. So today I'm here to share with you a bunch of short story and essay collections that I want to make sure are on your TBR. So you better get ready because I have a feeling it's going to explode. Let's get started. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? As always, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're safe, and of course, I hope you're reading an amazing book or two or three or four. It is a fantastically beautiful day in Northern California today. The weather is fantastic here, and it started with a meeting of the Spilling Tea Book Club today, and it was a really, really good discussion, and that was a nice way to kick off the day before I got into bath time for my 4 fur children. So I watched 2 dogs and 2 cats today. So I'm a little bit tired and all of my fur children are mad at me right now. So I am here to do a video about short fiction. I have been really, really lucky lately to be sent some amazing collections and have a couple on my shelf that I've been pulling down. I've been very, very busy. So whenever I need just a break, I've been picking up an essay, picking up a short story, reading it, and just allowing that author to take me away for a moment and come back. So I'm here today to share with you those collections and make sure that they're on your TBR. So get out your pen, your paper, your Goodreads, however you keep track of that TBR. If you are so able, get your library to get you a copy of these as soon as possible. I believe they are all out. I believe you can get your hands on every single one that I'm about to talk to you about today. Yeah, so let's get started, right? The first book I want to tell you about is The Good Immigrant, 26 Writers Reflect on America. This is edited by Nikesh, Shukla, and Chimene, Suleyman. I'm sorry if I'm saying those names incorrectly. And there was a UK version of this book as well. And then this is a few years later, they did a US version of this collection. I'm actually reading this for a book club I run at work, where we read books to just learn about other people, other experiences, and I am loving it. Focusing obviously on the immigrant experience in America, 26 different writers from all different backgrounds. The first story is about being an Iranian American. There are stories about coming from different parts of Africa. There's Nigeria. I know I'm in the middle of an essay about coming to America from Nigeria. And I am absolutely, absolutely loving this book. So, highly recommend The Good Immigrant, 26 Writers Reflect on America. This is out by Back Bay Books in the US. And again, it's edited by Nikesh, Shukla, and Chimene, Suleyman. And again, I apologize if I am mispronouncing those names. That cover is art-worthy. It is so freaking gorgeous. It's probably a piece of art. I didn't open the cover to check, but it is so beautiful. Okay, next is a short story collection I just picked up this week, mainly because if Hunter over on Shelf by Shelf on Instagram has talked about there's a couple of short story collections that he goes over and over again because he loves them so much. Florida by Lauren Groff, not in the stack, already read it, it is fantastic. Oh my gosh, the Department of Historical Corrections, also fantastic. Yeah, he just talks about a lot. And one that he has talked about a lot that I was like, I don't have on my shelf is Milk, Blood, Heat by Dantiel W. Moniz, out from Grove. And from what I gather, this is a collection of short stories that center around people who live in Florida. And it's told from many different perspectives. And it talks about moments of, I think the way that the book sort of summarized it is violent reckoning, and how these men, women, and young girls deal with that. I have heard nothing but total raves. I believe Dantiel was named one of the National Book Awards 35 under 35. If 5 under 35. There you go. That's wrong. And I've heard nothing but raves. So this is Milk, Blood, Heat by Dantiel, W. Moines. And look at that. Also artistic cover. An author that I've actually talked about this book, I think, in my last video. And it's a book of short stories in translation, and that's The Trouble with Happiness by Tove Ditlevsen. This is translated by Michael Favla Goldman and out from FSG. Now, I've talked about it a couple of times. I'm in the middle of reading the Copenhagen trilogy, and this is a short story collection, and I just had a new novel arrive from by Tove in the mail this week. So I am so excited that the world is getting to see America is getting to see this, and English speakers and readers, this amazing writer. I love the Copenhagen trilogy. She is got such a dense and beautiful way of writing. There's always a sense of melancholy to her prose. But I just have been really in awe of this author that until the Copenhagen trilogy I had never heard of, and now I'm realizing shame on me because she is fantastic. So this is The Trouble with Happiness and Other Stories, translated by Michael Favla Goldman by Tove Ditlevsen, out now from FSG. And all the covers are sort of similar. They're very beautiful on the shelf together. They create quite a story in and of themselves. Now, Catapult and Counterpoint have sent me a couple of short story collections lately, and I have started all of them. And the first I'm going to just remind you of, because I have talked about it before, is Seeking Fortune Elsewhere by Sindya, Bhanoo, out now from Catapult. So the first story in this is Maliga's Homes, and it won the O. Henry Prize. I have read that one. It is excellent. This focuses on the immigrant experience of South Indian women, sort of the families they've left behind and the families that they care for, and how those center the lives of different women in the stories. And the first story starts with such a, I want to say it's very shocking, and I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be so good, and it was as excellent. I don't want to tell you about it because I want you to read it. So there's going to be this theme of immigration, of leaving families and creating families and all of that, and that is Seeking Fortune Elsewhere by Sindya, Bhanoo, out now from Catapult Books. I want to apologize because I feel like I have a sneeze coming on, so if I sneeze right now, I'm sorry. The next book out from Counterpoint is Spell Heaven and Other Stories by Toni Mirosevich. And actually, Toni is a teacher, I believe, at San Francisco, a college in San Francisco. I think she's local to me. And this is a connected interstory, short story collection that is interconnected, focused around a lesbian couple that gets married and moves to a Central Coast town. And the main character is Croatian American and comes from like a very working class family. Her immigrant past and parents' experience, very important to who she is as a person, and it goes all over the place. And it is another beautiful absolute cover. And I believe that Toni is actually doing a bunch of events right now. I know that she's going to be in San Francisco for an event that I cannot get to, and it is very sad for me. But you should try to see if you can find her and read her collection, Spell Heaven and Other Stories by Toni Mirosevich. This is out now from Counterpoint. I saw it on the shelf, so you can get your hands on it as we speak. Okay, we're going to take a big old left turn with what we're going to do now. We're going to go science fiction, and we are going to go to a pop music icon, I guess. I'm calling her pop music. I don't know exactly if that's where she would put her music, but I'm such a fan of everything she does. And this is the Memory Librarian by Janelle Monae. Now, I do want to say that it says it's by Janelle Monae, but most of the stories, I think all of the stories actually, are in conjunction with a number of other writers. She writes the introduction, and then she is involved with another writer for each one of the stories. And I'm not going to read every single one of them. They're actually pretty long. I would almost argue that they verge on novella versus short story. But I have started the first one. It is really good. And it's based, well, it's sort of like the inspiration was her album Dirty Computer. If you guys have listened to that, again, brilliant. But I'm going to have the book help me a little bit because I want to make sure that I sort of get to you what this collection is really about. It says, Dirty Computer introduced a world which thoughts as a mean of self-conception could be controlled or erased by a selected few. And whether you were human, AI, or other, your life and sentience were dictated by those who'd convinced themselves they had the right to decide your fate. That was until Jane 57821 decided to remember and break free. And this has it's building on the traditions of Butler, Jang, Chambers, Okafor. So, and it got a starred review in Publishers Weekly. That's why I was so excited when it arrived. And the first story is very good so far. So that is Janelle Monae's The Memory Librarian. This is out from Harper Via. You can get your copy now as we speak. And a number of other, you know what, I'm gonna do it because I wanna make sure everyone gets their credit. Alea Don Johnson, Danny Lore, Eve L. Ewing, Honance Delago, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, and Sherry Renee Thomas, all authors that co-write these stories with Janelle Monae. And again, The Memory Computer and Other Stories of Dirty Computer, out from Harper Via. You can get your hands on it right now. Kind of excited that when I post this video on Twitter, I'm going to tag Janelle Monae. I tag all the authors, or I try to do. Just saying. And last is another essay collection called The Lonely Stories. This is edited by Natalie Eve Garrett, out from Catapult. And this is a collection that focuses on the idea of loneliness, being alone, and all of that. And I actually have read the first essay in this. Well, I read the introduction first by Natalie. And then I read the first story, which is by Megan Giddens, who wrote the novel Lakewood, which I have talked about, and I believe her sophomore novel is coming out very soon too, if I'm not mistaken. But I loved the first essay. I think that being alone and loneliness and the differentiation of those two ways of being is very interesting to me. Personally, I like to be alone, but sometimes I feel very lonely, and sort of, that juxtaposition is very powerful. There are so many amazing authors in this collection: Jupa Lahiri, Lena Dunham, Jasmine Ward, Anthony Doerr, Lev Grossman, Iyun Lee, Megan Giddens, who I just talked about. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm doing it as a piece at a time, mainly because the first one made me think, and I was really thinking about instances in my past where I've gone for loneliness in order to find myself. You'll read it, you'll love it. So that's the essay collection, The Lonely Stories, edited by Natalie Eve Garrett, out from Catapult. You can get your hands on this right now. I happen to know that it is out there. Actually, I believe this is a finished copy. Sometimes I get ARC, sometimes I get finished copies, and I'm so spoiled. So thank you very much, Catapult. So that is I think, a pretty eclectic collection of essays and short story collections. Let me hold that up there for you, do my best to make that look even. That I think will inspire you. I think if you're having one of those times in your life where you're like, I don't have time to read, these are perfect. You can take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just dive in, get lost, learn something about yourself, about the author, trust them, and they will take care of you. As always, if you are a Trend subscriber, I could not do this without you. I just hit 12,000 subscribers. Thank you all so very, very much. If you are new to my channel, thank you very much. I hope that you hit the subscribe button and the little bell and all those little bells and whistles. As always, I encourage you to read globally, shop locally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye, everybody.